BEEB1039.
Hello, my name is Nurul Izzah binti Devi Hipaldi. My metric number is 287065.
My name is Puteri Nurul Aini binti Eza and my metric number is GROUP-6
I am Lim Ziwei, no matrix 2X603.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Syafiqah Syahira binti Mama Anwar. Metric number 288109.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Adiba Fazrin binti Norzab and my metric number is 288646.
Hello, my name is Nurul Ain binti Shuaib and my metric number is 285711.
Hi, my name is Hawar Samati Abu Qasim. My number metric is 286866.
Hello, my name is Rohan Raj and our matrix number is 265355.
First of all, is the introduction. This assignment is to do a research on the opinions of the customer based on their factors that influence their demand behavior. The reason we choose this topic is to provide the information about customer latest buying behavior, and it is very important for customer to have a knowledge of economy toward the current situation. And lastly, we can have a deep understanding about the policy that government developed. And now is the purpose of this assignment. The purpose of this assignment is to investigate individual qualities such as demographics, personality, lifestyle, and behavioral variables to provide referrals in an attempt to understand people's want and consumption pattern. Example of behavioral variable is like usage occasion, usage rate, brand advocacy, willingness, and loyalty to the product. And now is the objective of the assignment. To assess respondent background, research is the first, and second is to research about customer purchasing decision based on some factors that influence them such as price, brand, income, and convenience of buying.
In this section, we have three parts, which is part A, part B, and part C. I will explain the part A, that is respondent background, and we have 30 respondents. In respondent background, we have three types, which is gender, ethnicity, and age. For the gender part, we have two, that is male and female. The frequency of the male is 13 people, equivalent to 43.33%, while female has 17 people, equivalent to 56.67%.
As we can refer to the chart, women recorded a higher percentage other than men. This situation happened because according to searches, women spend more money on shopping rather than men because they manage a household. Women make more economic decisions like buying groceries or even house supplies.
Second is ethnicity. We have four ethnicity, that is Malay, Chinese, Indian, and other. Malay ethnicity has 12 people, equivalent to 40%. Chinese ethnicity has 16 people, equivalent to 53.34%. Meanwhile, Indian ethnicity and others has 1 people, equivalent to 3.33%.
For ethnicity, Chinese recorded the highest number of the respondents, followed by the Malay. By this, we can assume that Chinese and Malay are the biggest ethnicity in Malaysia, then follows by the Indian and other ethnic. Malaysia population has increased every day and has reached 32.7 million for this year. 69.7 of them are Malay, then Chinese 22.5 and the Indian 6.9% and the other ethnic is 0.3%.
The last one is age. We have four types of age, that is below 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and above 51. The frequency for the age of below 30 is 29 people, equivalent to 96.67%. For the age of 31 to 40 and 41 to 50 has no respondent. Meanwhile, for the age of above 51 has 1 people, equivalent to 3.33%.
For the respondent's age, The highest number is by below 30. This happens because the youngsters, or much to be called as the millennials, spend much more money on shopping other than older generation. They much like to spend their money on interests like hobbies and even traveling over the country or even buying fast food. Sometimes they don't realize that things that they even buy is do not necessary for them.
I will discuss about consumer behavior in part B. Question 1 is I prefer to purchase goods or products depending on their brands. As we can see in this figure, 30 respondents agreed, 1 disagreed, 11 choose moderate, 4 strongly agreed and 1 disagreed. In conclusion, the majority of respondents voted to agree, which is equivalent to 43.33%. This question received the most votes with 30 people expressing their agreement or 43.33%. From what I have researched, consumers prefer to purchase products depending on their brands because of personal and professional image. Individuals like companies and products have identities. Some people buy certain brands to improve their image. Customers who want to be seen as tech-savvy buy Apple products, Mercedes or BMW, which they believe can enhance their image as a high class. The least voted for this question is disagree and strongly disagree with 1 respondent. This is because people can easily and quickly access more data. People today have access to far more information than in the past. This will change people's decision-making process, opening up new research questions and theories. Second question is even if the price is high, I am glad if I can buy branded goods. From this figure, we can conclude that 6 respondents agreed, 9 disagreed, 12 choose moderated, 2 strongly agreed and 1 disagreed. In conclusion, the majority of respondents voted moderate, which is equivalent to 40%. As many as 12 people, or 40% of those who took part, choose moderate as their answer to the question. Buying branded goods can be motivated by a variety of factors, including a desire to fit in with the rest of society or project a particular image. Customers' loyalty and trust are earned over time by brands that continually deliver high-quality goods and services. There was only 1 person who voted with strongly disagree respond to this question. This is because some consumers do not act rationally. When it comes to customers, they aren't always logical. To put it another way, a sensible individual will always behave in their own financial best interest. As numerous current behavioral psychology studies have demonstrated, humans do not always act logically, and many people who purchase luxury products do not have the financial means to do so. Third question is if my income rises, I will increase my purchases of goods. From the figure, 12 respondents agreed, 4 disagreed, 10 choose moderated, 3 strongly agreed and 1 disagreed. In conclusion, the majority of respondents agreed, which equals 40%. There were a total of 12 people who agreed with the answer to this question. This indicates that they agree to buy more as their income rises. The income effect can have a good or negative impact on a small business depending on a number of factors. The spending patterns of a customer alter in response to changes in their income. As a result of higher income, there is an increase in demand for goods and services. The inverse is true, which is a reduction in income has the opposite impact. Business suffer when people's salaries fall because they spend less money. However, this is not always the case. Some people decrease their purchases when income rises. This concept is called inferior goods in economics. It is an economic term for a product that is less in demand as people's income rises. As income rises and the economy strengthens, demand for these products declines and consumers shift to more expensive alternatives.
Percentage of respondents that strongly agree that if the price of food is low, I will increase my purchase assumption of categories paribus is 3.33%, which is only 1 respondent. This is because it involves the purchasing power of consumers. We need to help each other because if traders raise the price of food, consumers do not buy because they are expensive. Theoretically, the higher the cost of living, the less the purchasing power of consumer. For individuals, inflation will reduce real income, and this situation becomes serious if the rate of price increase or the rate of inflation is much higher than the rate of increase in income individual money that affect power by them and also the overall quality of life. The percentage of respondents who strongly agree that I prefer to buy goods online rather than in person is 10%, equivalent to 3 respondents. The first is because of the trust factor. The trust factor has been identified as the main factor of consumer making online purchases. The second factor is more time surfing the internet. Most Malaysians, especially teenagers, spend a lot of time surfing the internet. Indirectly, they are also influenced to make purchases online because of the frequency they are exposed to advertisement while surfing the internet. The third factor is because of fair cost savings. Fans of buying online do not have to incur the cost of first and hackers, but also can save time to get product and service with some affordable costs. Of course, it is especially popular among women who may face vehicle problems and limited time. The latter is due to price difference. Making price comparison and choosing the best item is the must. Percentage of respondents who strongly agree on the question purchase of goods online is easier and cost-effective is 3.33%, equivalent to 1 respondent. Consumer described online purchases is easier and cost-saving when the movement counter order PKP was executed. Housewives can also make purchases online and save time, cost, and energy compared to conventional purchases. Since knowing the e-commerce platform, they does shop online only because it is cheaper and can save time where they can buy anywhere and anytime. Next, the advantage gained when making an online purchases is the promotion that benefit the buyer. Online purchases are very economical as they often hold promotion of up to over 50% on certain days. And the third is that consumer thinks that buying online is the best option for choosing items that are hard to find or are abroad. When someone is a fan of goods from abroad, such as clothes and shoes that are difficult to find in Malaysia, despite having higher shipping costs than local items, the price offered through online purchases are much cheaper than price in store that sell items from overseas.
Question 1. If the price of good A falls by 50%, I will purchase it. Assumption of ceteris paribus. One respondent choose strongly disagree and disagree with percentage 3.33%. For moderate, there are 8 respondents, which is 26.67%. Then 10 respondents choose agree and strongly agree with the largest percentage 33.33%. Overall, most respondents choose to agree with question 1. Based on the question, there are 2 types of good. Good A is McDonald's and good B is Kentucky Fried Chicken. The relationship of good A and good B is substitute good. A substitute good is an item that another item can easily replace. As a result, the demand for good A will rise and the demand for good B will fall based on the assumption of ceteris paribus. The relationship between the price of a good and the demand for a substitute is positive. Question 2. Even if the price of good A is high, I will still purchase good A. Assumption of ceteris paribus. The pie chart shows that one respondent chose strongly disagree with 3.33%. For disagree, there are 10 respondents, which is 33.33%. Moderate, 12 respondents, which is the largest percentage, 40%. 5 respondents choose agree, 60.67%, and the last is strongly agree, get 2 respondents, 6.67%. As can be seen, most respondents choose moderate, which total vote 12. The percentage of moderate scale shows that the consumer will still buy good A even if the price is high. The factor that causes consumer to keep buying good A is probably due to a consumer taste factor. Tastes refer to the consumer preference for a certain good and service. The tastes of each individual are different from each other.
Question 3 refers to if the price of good B rises by 50%, I will purchase good A. Assumption of ceteris paribus. The result shows that 0% of respondents strongly disagree, 13.33% disagree, 26.67% moderated, 33.33% agree, and 26.67% strongly agree. The majority of the respondents agree to purchase good A if the price of good B increased by 50%. It is because, in general, when the price of good increases, people are less likely to buy that good. An increase in the price of good B causes consumer to purchase less of good B and encourage the consumer to purchase alternative good A, whose price remain unchanged or even decreased because the buying power of one's budget has been decreased. In this way, good A would be a substitute good for good B because the price of one affects the quantity demanded of the others. When the price of good B increases, the demand for good A will increase because some people will substitute from good B to good A. As a result, more good A is demanded. The substitution effect evaluates how much the higher price lead consumer to purchase different goods, assuming the same level of income. For one, raising the price risks of losing customers because the customer can purchase the same good at a lesser price from a competitor.
Question 4. If my income increased by 50%, I will purchase good A. Assumption of ceteris paribus. The results show that one respondent strongly disagree, 3.33%. 4 respondents choose disagree and strongly agree, which is 30.33%. For moderate, there are 50 respondents, which the largest percentage 50%, and for agree, there are 6 respondents, which is 20%. In conclusion, most respondents choose to moderate to question 4. Based on an assumption of ceteris paribus, if an individual income increases, demand for goods will also increase. This is because an increase in individual income will lead to an increase in disposable income and hence the purchasing power of the individual. An increase in purchasing power will cause the demand for goods to increase and the demand curve to shift to the right.
Question 5 refers to if my income increased by 50%, I will purchase both good A and good B. From the figure, the result shows that 6.67% of respondents wrongly disagree, 13.33% disagree, 46.67% moderated, 33.33% agree, and 10% strongly agree. In conclusion, the majority of the respondents choose moderate. Normally, when the consumer income increases, they purchase a larger quantity of two goods. Consumers often want to spend more of their income on goods when their income increases. If both income are normal, the consumer will respond to an increase in income by purchasing more of both goods. Normal goods are those whose demand increase as people's income and purchasing power increase. For a normal good, when a consumer's income rises, they will demand a greater quantity of goods to purchase. However, depending on the consumer's preference, an increase in income may result in increased consumption of one's good while decreasing consumption of the others. When the demand for the good declines when income rises, it is called as an inferior good, which occurred when consumers begin to substitute this good with more expensive options as their income rises. Consumers will demand less inferior good when their income increases.
As a conclusion, we can conclude consumer behavior can be defined as the study of a consumer purchasing decision for goods or service. Consumer behavior, in other words, is the study of how consumer make purchasing decisions and the factors that are influenced towards decision. Among the factors that influence consumer behavior are individual characteristics such as age, gender, education and income, as well as culture, social, psychology and economic factors. Consumer behavior is inextricably linked to the concepts of rationality and utility. Rational consumer behavior refers to the ability of an individual to prioritize their purchase of goods and services. This is consistent with the law of demand, which states that the change in the quality of a demand by consumer are affected by its market price. The higher the price of goods, the lower the quality demand, and vice versa. Consumer behavior in terms of purchasing goods is also quite predictable. Majority of consumers will ensure the goods they are purchasing meet their specifications. Overall, the study, the research found the factors such as income have a significant impact on consumer behavior. Furthermore, the world economy has suffered in recent years, prompting consumers to exercise greater caution when making purchases.
First and foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude to Professor Dr. Nur Azdini bin Abu Bakar for her guidance and instruction throughout this semester. And I'd like to thank the members of my group who have worked so hard to complete this assignment. The study of consumer behavior is important for us to learn about how people, groups, and businesses choose and use things to meet their needs and wants. When I was studying this topic, I learned about some of the things that may make people buy things like cultural influences, social influences, personal factors, and psychological factors. When you use them as marketing strategies, these are important things to keep in mind. It changed my life in a way that made me think about how I buy things and make decisions differently. In this assignment, I learned about how people make decisions about what to buy and how to come up with better decision-making strategies for different types of products that are more important or interesting. I'm sure this will make me do things in a different way because of the good or bad things I learned, or the good or bad things I saw in the situation at the marketplace. Thank you.